Hello viewers, welcome back to our YouTube channel, English and Literature with Carol. Thank you for always being here. Now we want to start with oral literature. Oral literature, I know you know what oral literature is. What is oral literature? Oral literature is spoken or acted form of art whose media is word of mouth. Or whose media is the word of mouth. Did you get that? Oral literature. It is oral. That means it is spoken. It is literature, so it's a work of art whose media is the word of mouth. We normally have written literature, but today we want to look at oral literature, mainly the African oral literature. You know, there are different forms. The African man did not have books, pens, like the way you go to the library, you go to YouTube, you watch videos. The African man did not have that. But they kept the information from generation to generation. How are they able to do this? By gathering as a community, passing this information through the word of mouth from generation to generation. There were different stories for different lessons because people are from childhood. When the children are so young that they could not even sometimes understand what was being told or being said to even adulthood. Like the young ones may not have had narratives, but they may have had some songs that they were singing. That takes us to forms of oral literature. When we say forms, these are ways in which that African information was passed from generation to generation. You'd have a song. So one of the forms of oral literature is songs. If you want to understand songs, you could imagine a whole livelihood from the time since these children are born to the time they became adult till the time people died. We want to assume that these people are dying at an old age. So that's how you will know the types of songs. Types of songs, we used to have what you call the birth songs. Birth songs when children were born. Like in Kenya, we have many communities. We have different kinds of ethnic groups. Like when a child was born in the Kikuyu community, if it was a boy, you had 5 ululations. If it was a girl, you had 4 ululations. And then they would sing and welcome this baby and congratulate the mother, and they would celebrate and have fun and even invite the other people to come and bring presents to this newborn baby. So those were birth songs. We also have another type of song, which was naming songs. Naming songs. These songs, remember that child has been born. Now, the child has reached a time. You need to get a name for this child. So they would sing and dance and even, do you know they could even dream about the names they were supposed to give these children? The Luos from Kenya, we are talking of the Kenyan concept. The Luos were naming their children maybe after seasons or after legends, after famous people. You could hear someone being called maybe Adoyo, or Bura, meaning the good one, or Bura the good one. Or is it Nyabera? Tell me, you are a Luo, I know. Comment there and tell me whether I'm right. Because I'm not a Luo, but I know Luos were named after maybe their character traits. So if it's a good person, the good one, what does that mean? That means that person is named after those traits. You could maybe an aunt has passed on and has never been recognized in the family. We don't want to forget that person that was there in your family. So you name that person after that child. The child is named after that person that passed on. So you could have such names, naming ceremonies. The Meru community had a unique way of naming children. If it was a firstborn that had maybe this mother, unfortunately, had lost children, there is a way the children are named. You could even hear Merus having names after animals. Why? Because there was a certain way of naming children. That is when the naming songs were used in this. We also have other types of songs. We also have, after the naming songs, these children would grow. And now they would, you have a babysitter. Remember, the mother has to go back to work. So the babysitter is there and wants the child desperately to sleep. So they will sing a lullaby to lull the baby into sleep. They would sing lullabies. The children. Have you heard of la la tutu la la mama anakuja la la akupe maziwa la 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 la. By the time I finish singing that song, you will have slept. I don't want you to sleep in my video because these songs were for children to sleep. Remember, that child has grown. So the child has grown, and now we want to leave the child to play with her peers or with his peers. They have a company there, and now we will have what you call the singing game, the children songs. Remember, a lullaby is a song for children, and we also have what you call the singing games. The singing games were songs that were sung by children. These children now are participating. Have you heard of any song that you know as a children's song? Have you heard Naenda Nakuru, 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 Twaenda Nakuru, step by step? And then the children are dancing and going round and going round and round. Those are the children play songs. You can also sing in mother tongue because it is oral literature and it will be okay. Because with types of children's songs, but then they were not in English or Kiswahili, they were in our mother tongues. And remember, Kenya, we are a proud nation of over 42 tribes. Make sure that you know one of these songs. Apart from the singing games, these children now would grow and the mother is there. The mother has gone to the farm. We have what we call the work songs. Work songs. Work songs had a way of being passed to us. We have that rhythm, that way when people maybe are weeding a farm. Can I sing for you a Kimeru work song? It says, Korema, Korema, Koremo Didinoma. That is a song I was taught by my grandmother. And I know you have people who are older and have been working in the farm. So this song says, weeding produces a lot of sweat. And it was repetitive. Songs were repetitive and they had a rhythm. Some cultures, some communities even had someone coming with an instrument, playing that instrument and playing and dancing as the others are weeding the farm or they are even harvesting. Because these Africans were farmers, they were not lazy people, they were farming, they were hunting. Mostly, depending on the community, you'd have a certain song. During work, now after the work, it is in the evening, and people have been enjoying, so they would have party songs. Where we have party songs. I know you know the popular party songs. We also had that in the African society. Unfortunately, now war would come up, and people would go and try to defend the community. So we have what you call the war songs. War songs. Now we have one. The Kalenjins have the war song which says, "Oh, Chesaina, oh, Chesaina, oh, Chesaina, oh, Chesaina, Chesaina, Neginam Sigirio Chat, Kochwalak." I'm not a Kalenjin, so you have to correct me. You hear now, I'm already struggling. Okay. You'll have to correct me. Please correct me and tell me what that song means. Because you're celebrating this young man called Chesaina and he has won the war and people are celebrating him. Unfortunately, not everyone survived during war. So there were people who would have died. So we have what you call the dirges. Dirges were very sad songs. Dirge. You celebrate this person, yes, you're sorrowful, but you need to bury this person. Now you are sad, you are crying, all of you. You are in tears. You are singing what you call the dirges. That's another type of a song. Apart from the dirges, there are people who would have when they were preparing after these warriors had gone from war, they would now want to settle down as a family, and they would have the wedding songs. So we also had wedding songs. Songs during they were sung during the weddings, and people would enjoy and they would dance and do all kinds of drama there. Remember, this is a new family that is starting, so they would really enjoy. And also, we have this young man has been eyeing the beautiful girl and has been visiting and has even had instances where he sees this beautiful girl. So they have what you call the praise songs. They would praise the girls. They would praise. They would praise. So we also have what you call the praise songs. Praise songs were there during those happy moments. Remember, the cycle goes on, and these people are enjoying. So if you want to remember how songs were presented and the types of songs, if you think in that sequence, you will not miss a song. You could be tested on it, you could be wondering what the African man used to do. Now I know you know what songs were and how they were presented. If you see a song written on the paper, you will see if it's full of repetition. What is lost when you write down a song? Definitely the tune. Like now you had me sing a few songs. Did you hear that? Yeah, I know you had different songs. That means you will lose that tune. You may not know what this person, if that person is not there and that piece of work has been written, if it was not recorded, you may not know the tune. That is one of the disadvantages of writing down songs because it loses the tune. If you translate it now, I want to write it in English, it also loses the original meaning, the originality, because there's what you call the authentic meaning. There are some words in our culture, in Kimeru, that cannot be equivalent to the English words. So that's what we look into. Apart from songs, we also have other forms of oral literature. That is, we have narratives. Narratives is our other form number 2. Have you heard that? Narratives. Now, I'll teach you about narratives in our next video. So, bye.